Hi everyone. Hi again. I know it's been a while since I posted my last video, but something changed in my life. I have a new job, and even more, this topic was very difficult for me to put it into the right words. I had to think about it for a long time and make some preparation because honestly, it's the biggest trigger for me. When I see people or listen to people talking about their teams and they are blaming or blame their teams for making failures. And I was always, and I am still always completely shocked by this because I can tell you before I begin to talk about it in more details that guys, it's never ever it's completely impossible that it's a fault of the team, that it's the failure was done by the team. And it's very simple because if you are a leader, even if you realize that you have the worst team ever, completely skillless and with very poor communication skill, you should have known this in advance. You should have prepared the plan in a different way, but in the certain point you've realized that your team is weak because of many reasons. You should have replanned, reprioritize, and also communicate this fact to the management, and you should have made some changes to prevent the failure, or to uh, not getting like in the situation where when it's too late to change something. So even in this situation, you are a leader of the worst team ever, it's always your fault. And now, why is your fault and how to be a good leader? So I would like to tell you right now about what I've seen as the leaders and the worst type of leaders. You have two types from my perspective. One of them are the strong leaders, but in the negative way. They are too strong. They try to be too indispensable. So they have a problem to delegate the work. They have a problem to trust their teams, and it's very very sad because I saw so many teams, very good ones, uh, and they were completely uh, unmotivated and disappointed, and like they completely lost any kind of drive because their product owner or manager was too strong, running all the time around them, and in some like the impression was that he or she was always busy, and even more that they know everything better than anyone else. So the team was completely like, okay, we are weak, probably we are too stupid to make a decision. So they have to wait what the product owner or what the manager will bring to them every single day. And it was really really sad because anytime they try to help, they try to prepare something by themselves, very often the response from the management was to actually they rejected it, or they told them that they don't have enough experience, or that the customer wanted it in a different way, but they didn't tell them actually the reason why. And lack of communication and like aura around the people as the managers, like we are indispensable and everything, and you are just a team and you have to do what I tell you to do and how I tell you to do. So very very sad situation. And I will tell you what's the result actually. If I don't want to mention that the people will probably leave the company very soon, but the result of it is that even if the leader has some kind of ability or capabilities to be a good leader, by doing this approach, like I don't trust you, I need to do everything by myself, with this approach he is losing his time and he is losing his energy, meaning that he is not able to navigate the team. Because for me, a leader is not only someone who is leading, but actually, yeah, the leadership is about navigating, you know. So imagine the situation: you are in the car and you are driving in the unknown place, and even more, there is some kind of race or whatever else, you know the situation. So someone is a driver and he's completely focused on driving the car, nothing else, you know. And the second one is a navigator, and the navigator has to navigate the driver, you know. So it's like a tandem work. But the navigator, the why I'm like making this analogy, the navigator doesn't care about the car, about the sound of the engine, or how to steer the wheel, or what kind of speed they have to use. Nothing. He must be focused on navigating. So even if you have the best driver ever, if you have a bad navigator, or too overloaded navigator, or overwhelmed, or tired, or lazy, or whatever else, name it, it's not possible to reach the goal, to reach the destination, you know, or win the race. So if you are too strong, you don't, for from many reasons, let's say, because I can see many reasons for it. You would like to manage everything, to prove yourself or confirm yourself that you are the best one. The second reason could be that you really don't trust the people around you. The third reason could be that you don't know how to delegate the work, you know, again, name it. But the thing is that you don't have a time to navigate, so you don't have a time to be a leader. So then if the team failed, when the team is failing or doesn't deliver something on time, very often I heard this kind of leaders like, yeah, you know what, I prepared everything for them in such a detailed versions, and you know, I tell them how to do it, and despite of this my proper work, they weren't able to deliver it. How is it even possible? And I would like to, yeah, of course, man, because that wasn't your job to do this. You should navigate them. You should have been the one who knows the direction and stop them in some useless activities, or motivate them, or you know, tell them what to do proactively. So they actually lost the ability and time and energy to be a navigator. The second part or second type of the leaders what I've seen also, not so many times, but very often, are very weak leaders. So they are in the position, and I don't know why they are doing this, because I saw them suffered a lot. They really suffered because they were too weak to make a decision, but because of their own personality. So maybe because of the reason could be the money or better position or whatever else, so they were in this kind of leadership position, but they were too scared to make a decision. So their approach was completely different. They had a lot of time, and they was declaring and claiming to everyone that their team is the best one ever, because they are doing the decisions, only them. And of course, every decision must be made by the whole team. But this problem is that sometimes the team, as I told you, they are very focused in some very specific areas, and they have to be concentrated and focused to do the best job, you know. And now imagine they are like, okay, now I need some direction. So they are immersed in the code, they are immersed in doing marketing strategy, whatever else. And right now that, yeah, you know what, I need a decision right now, because I don't know which direction to go, what kind of technology to use, or if I should do in what detail I should prepare this presentation, or whatever, name it. And in that moment they're like, hey, leader, what to do? And when the leader is too weak to make a decision, then they will try this kind of principles and mechanics, like, you know, you are the expert, you should know it better, so tell me what to do. But again, if you are too overloaded to do your own work because you are very focused, you cannot be good at making this decision based on the navigation, based on the direction, you know. So it can happen that the team fails, and then the leader is like, yeah, you know what, it was their responsibility, and I did the best to be just them there to help them, but it was their decision. It was the decision was made by them, and then when there is a failure at the end, it's their fault. And it's not. Of course, it's not, because the leader wasn't there. So you know what? I don't want to talk a lot about this, but please, again, uh, yeah, actually, one thing is very very funny as well. Very often the people ask me for help them to change something, to change the team dynamics, to change the business strategy, to change the team, to change the communication in the team, to change the level of engagement in the team. And I was always like, okay, but uh, first of all, if you want to change something outside, if you want to change something in your team, you must be the first one who will change something, you know. So imagine you have a lack of engagement in your team, or uh, lack of communication, or whatever else, or yeah, actually, yeah, they don't want to fight enough, they are like lazy, you know, they are not driven, and you really need them to be more proactive, because this kind of new startup or this new project really requires people to be fully engaged and brave to make a decision, and you know, communicate and really be very driven, self-driven. And imagine the situation that you want to change them, but you are like, you stand covered or behind the tree hidden, and like tell them, yeah, please guys, go and fight, you know. No, it's not possible. You cannot be like sitting on the bench as now I am sitting, and tell someone, please swim, you know, across the river. Do it, you are the best one. You have to be the first one who will do it, so must be the first one who will fight. So very often in my previous job, I do it like I was the first one who pushed the management back, like who push them with the answers, sorry, with the questions, to actually force them to bring us the answers, to help us to make a decision. So I was the first one who was very open and fight, you know. Then the team will follow you. I can't tell you, the team will follow you, but you must be the first one who will swim, you know. You must be the first one to show them that it's possible, and to show them that you will protect them and cover them, because you did the same, you know. So you cannot put someone like on the risky place, like do it, you know, without being with him or her like at the same place. So first of all, if you want to change something, you must change something within your own attitude, within yourself. You have to change your reaction, your action, to then to require some changes in your environment. So if you want to change something, if you are struggling right now with your team, please sit down for a while. First of all, check if you are too strong or too weak, or hopefully you are somewhere in the balance. That's good. Then you check like, okay, when I need them, always tell yourself like, okay, I want them to be more proactive. Then change it and tell yourself, how can I be more proactive, you know, to show them what to do and how to do it, what kind of things I require them to do. So like make a list or whatever else in your head, and be very honest with yourself. You can be completely alone. Don't tell anyone this, but be completely honest with yourself and tell yourself like, okay, then I have to change this and this and that. And then it's very important, when you try to invoke the change in your team, to be to communicate it, you know. So also be very honest in the communication. It's not about making the action differently, so be more proactive without explanation. So if you start to be more proactive or more communicative to them, to help them to be also on the same level with you, then you always, what speed up the whole process is to communicate it with them. So for example, hey guys, I know that I was too overwhelmed in the past, and I didn't have enough time to navigate you properly. So now I am taking much more time to do it. So I will be researching and investigate the situation around us to help us to be in a better direction. But I need you to help me with these daily decisions, and I need you to be kind of in ownership of these small tasks, because then I can have a more time and you can have much more power in your hands to make some decisions, and then we will just discuss it together and we will follow it. And in case we will find out that we are in a bad direction, I will know about it. I will like see it very very quickly, because I will be focusing on the navigation, on the direction itself. So then I can check it and very quickly see that with this prototype we are completely off track and we should do it differently. So tell them this kind of thing, because we are people, we need to communicate and we need to be very honest. And if someone is suddenly, all of a sudden acting or treating us differently, we're like, oh, what happened, and it could be for the best change ever. But with this like new approach without communication, you can receive a very negative feedback, and this kind of negative feedback can stop you, even if you are doing the good activity, even if you are going in a good direction to prepare some changes for the team. Without communication, without proper communication, this kind of negative feedback, because people like don't like changes so much, so this negative feedback can stop you, and that's a pity, then you are stuck. So I hope it helped you a little bit. uh, uh, I don't make this video too long. So yes, sit with yourself for a while if you are a leader, and ask yourself what kind of leader you are, what you would like to see around you. Then you discover what you would have to change in like yourself, your attitude, and then how to communicate it to the team. And please never just stop this behavior, like blaming others, especially blaming your own team, because guys, blame yourself. We are people, we are imperfect, so okay, I made a mistake, it's okay. But telling someone like, what, the team is so weak to do something and deliver something. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Bye.